So this is the jacket.
Yeah, this is the first piece I ever stitched. This was kind of like a bunch of random everything. But it's kind of part of what I always wanted to do, is just tattoo like one piece front and back and just kind of get as much stuff on there as I could. Stoked on how it turned out, to say the least. So this is like, I wore this into Grey Hearts one day. I was like, what do you got, like all nervous and shit, like, what do you guys think of this thing I made? Do you think it's cool? And yeah, that's kind of the first step in actually getting that kick in the ass to make more pieces. So yeah, man.
So when I look at it now, we're about six and a half weeks out from the show. Worries. Okay, I want to keep it real with y'all, man. Like, one of the biggest things, and it's affecting everybody. It's not just us, like all the industries, the supply line, man. You're getting a supply line crunch, it's so crazy. Dos Locos all day. Supply line crunch, it's crazy. And what's happening is that like shipping containers have gone up, way up in price, right? Like what used to be 2K is like 8K. So you're having a lot of brands who can't even afford, they're outbidding each other, trying to get their goods over from overseas, which is just pinching up everything. You got deliveries that were taking 3 months or like 6 to 7 months now. So what's my biggest worries? It's about stuff that we've been ordering and stuff for the show. It could be textiles, it could be fabrics, stuff that isn't gonna get here in time, you know what I mean? I mean, you have so many balls up in the air at the same time. Are you missing something? There's always a worry, like, am I missing something? Am I forgetting something? Is something that I think is on track, is it not on track? That's just the sweats of an event. Until you like, that day comes and you see everyone come through the door and everything happens the way it's supposed to be. If you're not worried about it happening like that, it's not even about worried. I think it's about if you don't feel the heat and the pressure, I don't know if you're pushing yourself enough, right? Because if I didn't feel this pressure, I'd feel like I wasn't aiming high enough. I'll put it this way, man. The other night I was sitting in my bed and you see that meme from Beautiful Mind and shit's all going through the air, right? That was me at, my girl's asleep. I'm up and I'm just seeing logistics and everything from the collection and show just like dancing in the air above my bed. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm just like, for fuck's sake. And you know what that makes me do? It makes me get up earlier the next day. Shit to do, man. There's shit to do.
I'm like, oh, hey, Kevin, how you doing, man? Thanks so much for taking the call.
Thanks, man.
Just gonna run you through kind of like a bit of like the whole vision, the whole shebang. But again, yeah, I wanted to thank you for your willingness to kind of jump on board with this without knowing too much of what's up. But I know you're just down to be a homie and down to support.
Well, for sure. I mean, I've been a fan of what you guys have been doing from day one, and we know each other from bartending times. So any chance I have an opportunity to get involved and engage in something awesome, I'm totally on board. So
totally.
For being open to get me in.
Basically, like the rundown is that we're gonna be throwing a show. It's gonna be a fashion show, like more of an event than anything.
Sounds well. I love it. Beyond the brands that I get to work with, it ties into a lot of what I really feel.
Totally.
I love art. I'm all about the community aspect. Grey Goose, Patron, Bacardi money. I got whiskey money, and then there's Bombay, and this ties in big time to what Bombay Sapphire does because they're all about the sturdy creativities.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate you. Okay, talk soon, brother.
Thanks, man. We'll chat soon. You guys have a good day.
You too, bro. Okay.
Peace.
Ciao. Peace. Okay, we're on. That was a good one. That was a big one. That was big. Yeah, that was a big one. Honestly, with Bacardi being on board, that's huge. Overall, it's been going well. The planning. There's definitely a lot to be done, but it's starting like. Honestly, it's just having a lot of conversations like that with different, like I had with Kevin, with different vendors and different people that we kind of need to be on board, taking over different departments, whether it's kind of like the music and the sound, or the food and beverage, or just like the setup and tear down and location and all that. So still a lot to do. Plus there's still the collection itself to kind of finalize and hammer out. And hopefully we can sew a bunch of shit too and show some cool clothes.
How many tools up on the shelf and stuff that you use is from your mom?
Honestly, I think, well, a lot of it she actually sent out to me when we first opened the shop. She came out because I kind of wanted to like, I learned in her studio, like in her workshop. She has an alteration workshop back in Alberta. So I just kind of like learned in her space, and she has her little systems in place and everything. So I was basically asked her, I'm like, hey, like, you know, what do I need setup wise? And she was like, how about I just come out there and we'll do it together? So she came out, she brought me some stuff, like even just like, you know, all the little hooks for these things and stuff. And then we went and, you know, bought some stuff. But I basically kind of like copied a little bit of her setup, and then kind of made it my own. But yeah, everything except for the bat.
Yeah, that was Sean's family, huh?
Yeah, that was different.
My name is Baylan, otherwise known as Denim Scratcher. I think it's been about 3 or 4 years since I kind of had the initial idea, and then kind of developing, like essentially learning the skill over maybe a year or two. And then since I met the Grey Hearts boys, they were kind of my initial kick in the ass to start actually making pieces more frequently. That was probably, I guess it was just over a year ago now. So I honestly I made one piece. It was just my one like kind of trial grounds shirt. It's like a denim long sleeve. So I banged a bunch of random designs into that and cruised into the shop with it one day and showed them. And then they were, again, like kind of pushed me on my way. And since then I've made 8 or 9 of them, something like that. A pile of them are going to be released as a collection at the show. At the Grey Hearts fashion show. But yeah, I've done a couple custom pieces, collab piece with Grey Hearts. Yeah, just kind of been trying to do as many of them as I can. It's an easy way to just get lost in something and spend like hours of your time just kind of like finessing a little thing. Something calming about it. And like the little sound it makes when it pokes through and everything. Love that, the little latch opening and closing. So I'll be doing the opening act for the fashion show, which is, I guess, a tongue-in-cheek kind of reflection of what the line is actually going to be itself. So it's going to be a half dozen jackets, and they're all going to be inspired by music, essentially. So by either album art or signifiers of certain bands, and it's all stuff that I like, drawing inspiration from what I grew up listening to. Yeah, I'd say they have like a massive influence on our community, just in a really natural and organic way. Just being Sean and Paul, like they just who they are. They've kind of created like a really amazing space and community of people around that space. Between providing quality garments for people to purchase, or whether it's a quality repair on something that you've had for most of your life, there's so many interesting facets to what they've done that have created this really cool shift in the way people are approaching menswear in this town in general. We're super lucky to have Sean and Paul, and that they chose Kelowna as their home. I mean, they've influenced not only the menswear community, but also just like our community in general, to the point where like I wouldn't even be doing any design or fashion stuff without them. It's kind of crazy to think in the amount of time they've been here, how much of an impact they've had.
The reality is, like, not a lot of people even know what we're actually doing here. They don't even know what this event is gonna be. Yeah. And the fact that they're already on board and believing in us we're blessed. It's crazy. But you have people like, I think like realistically, like when I looked at like personnel, volunteers, vendors, sponsors, we're sitting at like probably like 35 people to like make this show happen. These are all just people that are just like when I approached them and just said like, yeah, of course, dude, yes.
I'm going to interrupt you there because that's on the strength of you, dog, and that's on the strength of the movement. The support, like he said, is on the strength of just supporting the brand, but more importantly, the people. That's on the strength of people supporting people. Good people supporting good people, man. And we've been so blessed. It's like, it brings us full circle back to community. Would this be possible anywhere else? I can't say, but I know for sure that this being in Kelowna is what's allowed it to happen. Because this is the most amazing community and they love to support you. You just have to be there for them and you gotta be worth supporting. I'm not gonna lie, man, this community is blowing us away. I'm humbled every fucking day.
Yep.
Like, man, when shit was the toughest,
Yep.
having people come in here just to wanna come spend money to keep our doors open, or remember Okanagan Lifestyle, what they do, remember?
Dude, they've done a bunch, you know, like it's like from the aprons to the
Oh.
toques to when they, like we were
Gift
closed
cards?
and they were doing gift cards.
Man, crazy.
And that was when we closed down, like we opened and closed within the same month.
First month of business, yo,
But-
imagine that.
I mean, even just the whispers in this town of like before we even opened, you had like the Kyle Nixons,
Oh.
the B&A, the people that actually believed in us
Yeah.
like, when we were telling them the concept.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, yes,
They
yes,
saw the vision
do it. You
before
know, like,
it was all
that's
completed.
what I mean.
That's
like,
how crazy it is.
Before we opened, during the time we opened, and then after, like we haven't stopped
Yeah.
having amazing support in this community.
That's what we're talking about right there, man. Like, this city in Kelowna has been different, man. People banded together in the toughest time. We created a local economy.
Yeah.
We worked together. We did projects together. We branded together.
Okay, Berkeley's diamonds, they shine on my wrist, yeah, I need me a check, yeah, ay, sipping on Rosé, a Dior, denim and diamond baguettes, yeah, ay, I got a smoke and they wanna go feed on my energy, bitches, they so envy me, you already know that the bitches, they want me, yeah, ay, bitches, they want me,